Canada's new study permit capping, and spousal work permit changes. Canada is making some noteworthy adjustments to its immigration policies, particularly regarding international students. On September 18th, Immigration Minister Marc Miller announced new measures aimed at reducing the number of study permits and spousal work permits available for the years 2025 and 2026. Yeah, this announcement comes in the wake of an earlier cap introduced in January 2024, which was also aimed at moderating the flow of international students and their families entering the country. Let's take a closer look at these changes and what they mean for international students planning to study in Canada over the next few years. I see why there's confusion, so let's clarify the situation. Table of contents. Further reduction in study permits. A new focus on graduate students. Stricter rules for spousal open work permit eligibility criteria. Already fewer international students in 2024. A shift in Canada's immigration strategy. What these changes mean for prospective international students. Further reduction in study permits. First up, the announcement from September 18th introduces a more stringent cap for study permits for the years ahead. Canada is now set to issue a maximum of 437,000 study permits annually, which is about a 10% reduction compared to 2024 and a significant 36% drop from 2023 figures. Wow, that's a considerable decrease. Interestingly, this cap will now also cover master's and doctoral students, which means there will be fewer exemptions granted than before. Previously, these graduate students enjoyed some leniency, but they'll now face the same scrutiny as undergraduate and diploma program applicants. Over the next 3 years, the government anticipates that this policy will lead to approximately 300,000 fewer international students in Canada. This reduction is aimed at alleviating pressures on various systems, including housing and labor markets. Managing the influx of students is becoming a real priority. Back in January 2024, Canada set a cap for the first time, reducing the number of new international students allowed in by 35% compared to the prior year. This was a significant move and indicated the government's seriousness about addressing the strains that the surge of international students had placed on Canadian infrastructure. A new focus on graduate students. Now, let's dive into the focus on graduate students. Canada is taking a targeted approach here, reserving 12% of the cap study permits specifically for graduate students, which includes those pursuing master's and doctoral degrees. Right, this is a strategic move, as the government believes these students align better with the country's economic needs, particularly in sectors like research and technology. By prioritizing graduate students, Canada aims to enhance its labor market, ensuring that the skills of these students meet the demands of the economy. Graduate students typically have better employment prospects, which is a win-win situation. They're also more likely to integrate into the workforce after completing their studies. I see this as a thoughtful approach to ensuring the country continues to attract top talent while managing numbers. Stricter rules for spousal open work permit eligibility criteria. Moving on, the announcement also brings about stricter eligibility criteria for spousal open work permits. In the near future, though the exact date hasn't been specified, spouses of international students in doctoral and select master's programs will no longer automatically qualify for open work permits. This is a significant change, right? This tightening of rules is designed to limit the number of temporary residents entering the Canadian workforce through this route. It's anticipated that over the next 3 years, this could lead to around 50,000 fewer work permits being issued to spouses of students. Moreover, the government plans to narrow eligibility even further for the spouses of highly specialized workers and professionals. Only spouses of those in critical sectors, such as healthcare and construction, will remain eligible for these work permits. This is aimed at ensuring that the individuals who do receive permits are those who can contribute meaningfully to Canada's economy. I can see the rationale here. Already fewer international students in 2024. Interestingly, while these new policies are set to take effect in 2025, the earlier cap announced in January seems to be already having an impact. From January to August 2024, there has been a reported 38% decrease in international student arrivals compared to the same period in 2023. Wow, That's a big drop, about 200,000 fewer students. This decrease aligns with the government's aim to reduce pressure on housing, infrastructure, and employment markets. Canada is trying to tackle several pressing issues, including an overheated housing market and stretched municipal resources. The competition in the labor market, especially for entry-level positions, is also a concern. It seems like Canada is really trying to recalibrate its approach to immigration. A shift in Canada's immigration strategy. The September announcement represents a notable shift in Canada's immigration strategy. Previously, international students were considered a vital pipeline for future permanent residents, contributing significantly to both economic and population growth. However, by incorporating temporary residents into immigration planning, the government is adopting a more cautious approach. The new targets for international students and the stricter rules regarding spousal work permits clearly illustrate this balancing act. It's all about weighing the benefits of welcoming international students against the challenges posed by managing infrastructure and labor market demands. I see how they're trying to strike that balance. The Post-Graduation Work Permit, PGWP, program will also be adjusted to better align with the evolving economic landscape. The focus will shift to students whose skills are in high demand, ensuring that the influx of international students aligns with Canada's ability to accommodate them effectively. What these changes mean for prospective international students. For prospective international students, especially those looking to pursue undergraduate degrees, these policy changes will significantly impact their plans. Competition for study permits is expected to intensify as the number of available spots decreases, particularly for programs that don't directly align with Canada's economic needs. Graduate students, while they still have that 12% allocation, will also face challenges when it comes to spousal work permits. The tightening of these rules means students and their families will need to navigate a more complex landscape. Yeah, planning ahead is going to be crucial. As Canada's immigration policies tighten, students considering education in the country will need to be acutely aware of which sectors the government prioritizes. Understanding these dynamics will be vital for making informed decisions about their education and future employment opportunities in Canada. Overall, Canada's new study and work permit policies represent a significant shift in its approach to international students. By reducing the overall number of permits and prioritizing highly skilled individuals, the government is trying to address crucial economic and infrastructure challenges. As these changes roll out in 2025, prospective students and their families will have to adapt to a more competitive environment for immigration. It's a lot to take in, but staying informed will definitely help navigate this new landscape. Thanks for watching our video. Hit the like button and subscribe more.